Welcome back, everyone. It's the duo you didn't know you needed, back for another edition of Espresso Chat. I'm your host, Casey Chestnut. As always, I'm joined with life sciences expert, Massimo Crudeli. Welcome back, Massimo.
Thank you, Casey. I'm very glad to be back here for this Valentine edition of our Espresso Chat.
I love it. Perfect. This month, we're diving deeper into digital transformation and life sciences. All of today's questions are tying into that theme. Can't wait to pick your brain and hear your insights. Let's jump in.
Of course. Let's go.
Perfect. In your view, how will digital technologies transform patient outcomes and accelerate innovation across life sciences?
So if you look at the life sciences industry, you can see there are different digital technologies that are reshaping the industry. They are kind of bridging data, speed, and precision. Think about advanced analytics, for example, or AI that are enabling faster drug discovery, clinical trial optimization. They're reducing time to market. At the same time, from an ERP standpoint, you have now cloud platforms, you have integrated ERP systems, and they are improving collaboration, globally across, supply chains, and they ensure data visibility and data traceability. And then you have predictive modeling, you have personalized medicine. They kind of allow treatments to be very individual, specific, kind of a patient-specific treatments. So all of these are kind of changing, shifting the industry from reactive to proactive. There is more emphasis on data-driven decisions, and at the same time, that will kind of accelerate the innovation, at the same time delivering a safer, more effective medicine for patients worldwide.
Interesting. My next question, which external forces like regulatory changes, patient expectations, etc., are most influencing the pace of digital transformation?
I mean, there are many external forces that are kind of converging and accelerating, the digital transformation in the industry. You mentioned regulatory bodies. They are tightening compliance requirements everywhere. And this is kind of pushing all the organizations toward the systems that ensures that integrity and traceability and visibility. You also mentioned patient expectations. So now everybody is demanding kind of a faster access to, therapies, maybe personalized treatment plans and transparency in care, and at the same time also security in how the personal data is treated. And then on the other end, from a technology standpoint, you have cloud computing, you have cloud solutions, you have AI technology. All of these kind of advanced solutions are creating new possibilities for the industry. So these forces are not only influencing the pace of transformation, but they are kind of reshaping, in my opinion, entirely the life sciences industry and companies. Now they can innovate, they can collaborate, they can deliver value across the entire ecosystem.
Makes sense. Now to go on the other side of the spectrum, what do you see as the biggest challenges life science companies are facing when scaling digital initiatives effectively?
I guess data integrity and compliance, which we discussed in a webinar some kind of months ago, is definitely one of the biggest challenge in the industry. Some companies are growing, some companies are global, some companies are, just new startups. But for all of them, data integration and consistency and compliance is mandatory. So all this company, they are struggling with, modern platform. They need to integrate, ERP systems with external solutions. Maybe they are working, globally, and they need to kind of ensure compliance across different geographies. And together with this one, you also need, strong governance, kind of a cultural change from a data standpoint to ensure, clear communication, standardization, harmonization of the data. And then, especially if you are kind of a small startup, sometimes those initiatives that are mandatory and required by the industry, they don't offer a measurable ROI, which means that the management and leadership sometimes struggle to commit. But if you miss that opportunity, if you miss that step, your journey in the digital transformation life sciences industry is definitely a struggle. So this is where, in my opinion, scaling a digital initiative, they can either, succeed or fail miserably.
Good answer. That's interesting. Yeah. My next question: how critical is data integration across R&D, manufacturing, and supply chain for achieving true digital transformation?
My personal opinion is that data integration is definitely the backbone of the industry. It is required for, from regulatory bodies. It is critical from an AI standpoint. If you don't have a unified, solid data environment, and you are in a situation where you have data silos, that will definitely slow your decision-making process. That will increase your compliance risks. They will limit your, visibility into critical processes, for example, manufacturing or quality control, or visibility into your inventory. What you really need in the industry is a seamless integration that really enable real-time data and therefore real-time insights. And this goes from, early stage research down to, production and distribution. You want to be able to kind of predict and anticipate and even react to demand changes or resource issues. And at the same time, you want to maintain, regulatory alignment and compliance. Okay. And then we said multiple times, if you put AI on top of that, this is just, the icing on the cake. Put data into AI means poor results. Poor results mean poor decision. So consistent, high quality data across the entire value chain is absolutely mandatory for the industry.
Seems to be a reoccurring theme we're seeing, but
yes,
smart thing people really need to realize to make a successful transition. Last question: what role does digital validation play in ensuring compliance with enabling faster innovation in life sciences?
I guess the digital validation is going to play a critical role in balancing compliance as required by, authorities with speed. If you think about a traditional validation has been always a manual process, resource heavy, and that kind of validation, the consequence of the old validation was slowing down innovation in the industry. If you can digitalize, you can make validation easier, I'm sure that life sciences organization can automate and digitalize more and achieve more kind of a benefit from from technologies. At the same time, a sort of digital validation can reduce human errors and audit risks, and can kind of accelerate, the deployment of new technologies. I think digital validation can definitely transform the compliance from being a bottleneck into an enabler for companies to innovate while meeting at the same time, stringent quality and regulatory requirements.
Great. Fascinating. Well, on that note, that concludes today's Espresso Chat. Thank you, Massimo, for joining us and letting us pick your brain. Yep. And thank you, everyone out there, for watching. If you have any questions or want to find more information about STAEDEAN and our solutions, you'll find a link to our website below, as well as a link to book a meeting with Massimo and pick his brain a bit yourself. Thanks, everybody. Till next time.
Thank you. Bye.